Good evening. It is 6:30 on Monday, March the 18th, and now call the Winton City School Board of Education meeting to order. Please turn your cell phones to silent and rise with me to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Seymour, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Kim?
Here.
Mrs. Ruggless?
Present.
Mr. Birdie?
Present.
Dr. Cupoletti?
Here.
Dr. Johnston?
Present. Okay, our first item on the agenda this evening is our district honors, recognitions, gifts, and introductions. As a reminder, the board has changed its protocol to allow board members an opportunity to present the honors, recognitions, and awards. So I invite Dr. John Cupoletti to the podium. And once he gets to the podium, Mr. Smith, you will have the floor.
Good evening.
Good evening. All right. We'll help you out
Must
there.
be a delayed mic.
Yeah, it is.
I'd like to have Coach C come up to the podium, please. And Coach C, when we were getting ready to honor these incredible cyber warriors, I thought you were coming tonight because you wanted to publicly talk about how you keep avoiding wanting to play the administration in baseball, softball against teachers. But that's not what this is about, right? Okay, sir, I was just checking. Because I've sent you 10 invitations and you keep turning me down. All right. So these are some exciting young people called the Cyber Warriors. And is there a video to go along with it?
There's a short presentation.
Short presentation? Okay, we're excited and we're ready.
So Miss Haller, just so everybody knows, is my right-hand woman. Without her and Miss Hobbs, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So they're going to talk to you a little bit about what we do, and they're going to explain why they're dressed like crazy kids, and you'll get to enjoy and see a little bit about what we do this year.
All right, how's it going, everybody? We are part of the Cyber Warriors, and we participate in the Tech Club here. And recently, we went to Tech Olympics, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about that. I'm John. My name's Wilmer.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Tanny.
I'm Khalid.
And my name is Junior.
I'm Dylan.
And my name is Emmanuel.
So, how did you get into this club? Now, it was kind of easy for me because Coach C was my teacher, and he mentioned to me about the club. So the club is basically about technology. Now, we are exposed to technology in our everyday school life, but not at this level. At this level that they showed us VR and other different things that we could use. And in my opinion, when I was a little bit younger, I used to be really interested in technology. But, as I got older, I really stepped away from that. But as Coach C mentioned to me about this club, it got me really interested into technology again.
And luckily, a few of us, me and Ty, and I think that was about it from this group, got to attend it last year, and we had so much fun. So we talked about it while we were there. We should have a club for this, and so sure enough, we made one. And Tyler was in charge of drafting all these other people that we see up here. Okay, so day one Tech Club, we're getting straight into it. The previous picture was about us making some of these 3D models, which was really fun. Got us introduced to some new technology there. We also had some Lego robot cars we were programming to go around a track and that kind of thing. So just a bunch of different things being introduced.
Okay, so Tech Olympics. Now, it was my first year with Tech Olympics. I really didn't know what it was or what, the premises of it was. Tech Olympics was a really huge experience for me because I didn't know that these different type of industries were available for all of us. And we got to talk about to different professionals such as engineers, people working in IT, and all those other things. And there's like different sessions where you can join and experience other sites of industries. For example, I went to a session called Intro to Unity. This had to do with a bunch of gaming coding. So I guess like there's a little bit of coding here in the school, but it's very little to the point where like, you know, you're gonna forget about it after a couple of months. But this, they go really in depth in it, and they really have, you know, that passion, you know, to just talk about it.
And then along with the sessions, we also had a lot of fun. We got to network with some other schools by playing FIFA with them, you know, in a tournament and that kind of thing, which is a sports game, if you don't know, on the Xbox. But nonetheless, we got to market with them, and like Junior said, we got to network with a lot of different professionals. Like there was a UC business guy there. UC had a IT booth set up. We got to talk to them and get some connections that could help us go into that next step in furthering our education. So here's a screenshot of the Thinglink we use, which is a presentation tool which we use for our showcase, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Unfortunately, the reason while we're all dressed like a bunch of hoodlums is we wanted to present to you our project for the showcase, which we did at Tech Olympics, but unfortunately we don't have time for that. But basically we did our different parts. So what we did is we were trying to make learning new skills and new passions easier for everybody. So one of my passions was skateboarding, one of them was playing football, and then one of them was playing video games. And so we basically used LEDs to make those things easier to learn. So, for example, this board would light up with LEDs to show you how to do an ollie, and that's just jumping with the board. And so it shows you how to move your feet, and it makes learning how to skateboard easier. And so that's what the project was all about and what we presented at Tech Olympics.
So with the project being said, we basically had an advantage from different schools that we competed against. Because since the freshman year, you know, I am part of AGS, and AGS was the first program in the school to have project-based learning, you know, and how to present yourself, how to speak out. So, in my opinion, we had a very huge advantage on other schools that don't have that type of learning environment. And I think that we really prepared well for our presentation. But in technology-wise, since the school doesn't really provide us with a lot of technology-based classes, we were really falling behind from other schools that had that advantage from us.
Also, real quick before Khalid gets into his app, I thought it was really important to note that we got to, it was basically like an episode of Shark Tank, if you've ever seen it. And so we're presenting in front of these actual business people and like presenting our idea, and we're getting feedback from them on how to present it better, what they think about the idea. So we're going to have more meetings for Tech Club, obviously, and so if we wanted to go further with this idea, we could, and so that was really important to get that experience.
Alright, so my part was to work on an application that can actually run all this stuff. That you go into the app, you find the trick you want to do, you want to perform, you map it to the board, and it shows you on the board, and it opens up a page to tell you more about the trick, how to do it, a description, and a video to teach you.
He actually built the app, by the way.
So because of Ms. Howler, we were able to go to Xavier University, and they showed us the tech deck. So it was basically a VR room of, you would put on the VR set, and you would be able to see like the point of view of the court, like during the games. And then there was also like a big TV. You can see the picture right there. It was basically 12 screens, and the video engineer is like in charge of that, and like he was just talking about it and like what he does for his career.
And then some more stuff that we did along the field trip. We got to meet Drew, really cool guy. He talked to us a lot about some different technologies they're using in their classes or just different clubs at Xavier. So one of the big things was drones, and Dylan over there, actually funny story, while he was flying a drone, tried to get him to do a barrel roll with the drone, and he crashed his racing drone, and so he no longer has a drone because of Dylan. Nonetheless, we got to see these really cool things, and then this, kind of hard to see, but this is a 3D printer basically, and we actually have one here at the school, and we got introduced to that like we showed earlier, but it's really cool to see how they could use a 3D printer to actually print metal parts. So we saw those plastic parts that we created, but they can actually use a metal 3D printer to make parts for different, for like a car or any other kind of thing that would need that kind of part. And so we got introduced to that. I didn't know that was a thing before, so that was really cool.
join the Navy, and if it weren't for this club, I wouldn't get to experience things like getting hands-on experience on technology, and I didn't know that the Navy was more involved in enforcing the use of technology at the Tech Olympics event.
Okay, so like my brother, I also plan on attending the Navy in the future, and not attending, I mean, I am going to the Navy in the future, but, you know, this conference really exposed me to a lot of new things that I didn't know about myself. Like, there was just so many competitions, so many cool people to network with. It brought so much out of me that I just didn't know that there was so much technology out there, and, you know, our technology is constantly changing every day. And the Navy, I just found out, like, a lot of these companies that we, like, got to talk to at this event, the Navy actually, like, bought some of their prototypes or some of their products, and they're experimenting with them. You know, they're really trying to see new uses in these technologies that we already have. And so I really just, I'm happy to join the Navy and know that a lot of these technologies will be relatable when I come back to society.
So as for me, I actually got the email today that I got sent to the University of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So without Coach C and Miss Haller, you know, I wouldn't be able to find my passion that I have right now. I talked about the Intro to Unity that has to do with coding, and you know, I didn't really take that much. You know, I didn't think about it as much before we went to Tech Olympics. And as of now, I'm going for IT for the University of Cincinnati. And I think, you know, this club is a really great experience. It shows kids that, you know, not only, you know, you have these basic jobs you can get in society, you have these other jobs where, you know, people don't talk about, but, you know, they're like jobs are just available for them. So, yeah.
So I'm planning on attending the University of Cincinnati to major in mechanical engineering. And from Tech Olympics, I was able to like experience that there's multiple kids like in the Cincinnati area that are also interested in engineering. So I thought that was interesting, and to network with all the businesses. And also at Tech Olympics, we were able to sit down with the IT people, and they were able to talk to us about like what they do and like why it's very beneficial. So I'm also planning on trying to minor in that, just to help that with my major.
Alright, so I'm also planning on going to the University of Cincinnati. And originally, I hadn't been one of the few that gone to Tech Olympics originally. So for me, it was a completely new experience. And once I got to the conference, I absolutely loved like every moment of it. I really enjoyed networking with all the different people that were there. Everyone was pretty friendly, and it was just a huge experience for me to branch out what things I could potentially like. I'm a really like artistic guy, and a large part of the Tech Olympics and project, I was designing different artworks and designs that we could implement for the club in the future. And it really helped me see as a stepping point what kinds of things I could learn and other things that I could also branch out to when we went to Tech Olympics. And I thought it was pretty cool that seeing all the different things that artwork can be exploited to nowadays. And that was a really wonderful experience for me.
And that I have committed to going to NKU to study in mechatronics engineering. And while I was at Tech Olympics, there were these two sessions where basically the students had to code, like they had to know some type of coding language. They had to figure out what was the shortest way they can create this input output machine. And like I learned through that experience, I learned that these other students there, they were like completely like fluent in the language. They know exactly what to do. While I was sitting in the session pretty much clueless. And so that helped me and drive me to eventually attempt to learn a programming language over the summer, which is probably going to be Python.
So I have been accepted into multiple colleges, but I want to go to UC because it's really close to home and wouldn't have to commute as long, because the farthest I've been accepted to is all the way up in Cleveland. and it's really far. I wouldn't get to travel there, or because like living on campus is really expensive for me, so I'm trying to keep it close to home. So I want to go and major for computer engineering at UC. So that's like my passion. Like really this year, first time I've been in Tech Olympics, it really opened up my mind to what we can do with technology. Exactly, because I already knew what we could do with technology, but this club really made it, like changed my mind, made it better. Now I just want to major in it more and more and learn more about it.
Great.
And then I am also going to the University of Cincinnati studying mechanical engineering. I've known that for a while now, but by far the biggest thing I got out of this is leading a team. So I'm actually the president of the club right now for the rest of my senior year, and then we got to get somebody new. We got a lot of seniors up here, so we got to start drafting. So being the president, I had to lead the project. I was the one who introduced the idea and everything, and so leading a team, getting everybody to actually do some work and stop messing around with our VR machine that we have back in the classroom. You know, we gotta get something together, and so Coach C helped out a lot with that. He showed us what a real presentation should look like, and obviously we've had a lot of experience with project-based learning, and so I think we were really able to make an amazing product, and we got a lot out of it. So
We want to say thank you guys for allowing us the opportunity. Thanks Ms. Hobbs for the support and everybody else that goes into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, there's only, you know, you were talking about the style of dress. There's only one guy that's dressed inappropriately up here.
absolutely.
Yeah, this Steeler, this guy with this football.
He's all right.
But special thanks, Coach C, for just lending your hand out there. Ms. Hobbs had told me about the young men and the Tech Olympics, and she was so excited. She says, Superintendent, you have to have them come and present to the board. So bravo, gentlemen.
Very
Let's find
good.
some more seniors, though. Okay, way to go.
Yeah. Recruit. Yeah.
Did you guys bring parents with you at all?
Yeah, my parents were over
Okay, we can get a group picture. Let's get as many parents in there with Coach C, right over here with Dr. Copoletti. Yes, absolutely. Ms. Hobbs, absolutely, yes. You spearheaded this whole thing.
That's a good question.
Any other parents?
But that's more like photography, Chris, isn't it?
That's video and technology and marketing. It's a little bit of that. It's not
Right.
like coding and.
Excellent. The next item for your approval is the Winton Woods Middle School Art Gallery. And each year, the art gallery just kind of travels around to select some incredible art. And I'd like to have Denari Abernathy come up. Denari's portrait is from the Baroque period. And for a middle schooler to have intensive work around the Baroque period is absolutely amazing. So I'd like for him to talk a little bit about his piece and why he chose that particular artist.
I just wanted to say that this is a real honor it's been like a real honor to accept this medal, and like in my artwork right here, this took a lot of effort, and this took me like weeks to make, like for real. For real, and it was like so hard because I had to try to, mixing colors around, trying to find for the skin and all that. Then, like this guy right here, he's a Renaissance artist. His name is Titan. And what he likes to do is he likes to do like oil painting. Like that's one of his specialties. And I decided, like, why not try to do it, considering the fact that last year I tried to do it so many times, practicing oil painting and watercolor painting. So, as you can see how I experimented with, like, the beard and all that, like, and how you can see the tones, like, the skin tones I've been trying to do. And the background, of course, as you can see, that is brown, which I really like, and I think this is out of all the art that I did, out of all I've done, this is like one of the best I ever did. Actually, one of the best I had was actually last year when I drew that Leonardo da Vinci. That was the best.
For all of the art enthusiasts in the room, that was, by the way, the superintendent's selection. All right, just want to let you know. All right, very good.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Who did you come with tonight, sir?
Well, my family. I came with my mom, my godmother, my cousins.
Bring them on up for your photo. Absolutely.
Come up, guys.
That was amazing. Our next award goes to Pierre Lufa. Is Pierre here tonight?
Is that Raven Lynn?
No, I want to talk about Pierre.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to say Raven. Is Raven Lynn here tonight? All right, Raven, I keep seeing you smile at me, so I knew it was you, so I was just going to wait to the end. But, okay. Raven had the principal selection. Okay, Raven, tell a little bit about your work.
Well, I made the piece, and it was made for freedom, like to symbolize freedom. That's why the chains are there, to symbolize her not having freedom and her being stuck in chains as if she's not free. I don't really have much to say about it, but I did enjoy working on the piece, and I enjoyed working on it. So thank you.
All right, very good. So, Mom? Is Mr. Hadley here tonight from the Kiwanis group? No? Okay. Is Pierre here tonight?
Yes.
Is it she like now?
So of course you can see by her stature she's in the first grade. This is from her teacher, her principal, Mr. Jones. I can't say enough about Pierre and who she is as a young lady and a student. She is truly resourceful and takes advantage of her opportunities. When she arrived to us in kindergarten last year, she had just newly arrived in our country from Africa. She arrived with her mother before the school year began, and through an interpreter, she wanted to know everything about our school. While she was not able to communicate in English with me, she did communicate with everyone in our building with her beautiful smile. As the school year began, she quickly picked up oral language, and through working with her classroom teacher and our ELL teacher, her vocabulary grew each day. With her eyes wide open, she participated in class and eagerly listened to her teacher's instructions. As she began to speak English, we were able to get to know her wonderful personality, and we began to look into her life and family. Now in first grade, Pierre is writing complex sentences, using descriptive language, and sharing her work with her classmates. I was amazed when I visited her room in the second quarter and saw her standing in front of the class, reading her writing to the teacher and other students. Then when I received her MAP score in the winter, I was blown away when as a first grader, she was reading at the second grade level. Amazing. Talk about an amazing story. She is truly an incredible young lady and a resourceful student. Pierre is someone you're going to hear from in the future. Through her hard work and resourcefulness, she has grown by leaps and bounds. Keep up the great work, Pierre. Photo time. Parents, family, friends. Our next award goes to Sagat. Is he here tonight? We'll come back. He promised he was coming, Mrs. Jordan. Okay. Is Amy here?
Yes.
Yay.
Come on up,
Amy. Amy, do me a favor. Pronounce your last name for me.
Gwei.
Gwei. All right. Amy Gwei is a 10th grade student in the AGS program at Winton Woods. Amy exemplifies what it means to be a warrior. She is very kind and polite to everyone, and she is extremely easy to get along with. In school, Amy is a very hard worker, maintaining a 3.5 GPA despite a rigorous course load. She is often chosen to be the group leader because she is so responsible and gets the job done. You might expect a person with excellent grades to spend all their time studying, but this is not the case for Amy. She loads herself with extracurricular activities to maintain a balanced lifestyle. Amy is involved with both the high school track team and softball team, and she was chosen to be one of the students representing Winton Woods at the University of Charleston as part of the leadership workshop. She is also a member of the Girls Guide Club, which is a mentoring group for young ladies. Perhaps Amy's most impressive activity is her HPAC Health Professions Affinity Club. Amy works with a group from University of Cincinnati to learn about different career opportunities in the health profession. A major part of the club is working on community engagement. As part of their current project, Amy and the group are organizing a food drive to collect food for the Fairfield Food Pantry. Amy has taken a leadership role in this endeavor and is excited as the prospects of helping so many people. I could go on and on about Amy's attributes. As you can see, she is a role model to her peers and a true asset to our school community. Amy is very deserving of the Student of the Month Award, Brad Tash, school counselor. Next is the Skyline Athlete Student of the Month. And this award goes to Mr. Kendall Phillips. I need someone to guess, what sport do you think Kendall plays?
Basketball.
I'll let him tell you later.
His brother played basketball.
Kendall Phillips plays the game very hard, has a positive attitude towards his coaches and teammates, and is a very high character student athlete. Along with being a model student athlete who excels in the classroom, his commitment to practice and skill development has made him a better player. That's from his coach, Coach Andre Tate. Kendall actually has a 3.7 GPA, which is absolutely incredible. Way to go. So there are some specifics on being nominated as the Student Athlete of the Month. To be nominated for the Skyline Student Athlete of the Month, students must maintain an academic standard of 3.0 or better, show respect for coaches, teammates, officials, teachers, other students, and family, show enthusiasm and a positive attitude, display commitment to practice games and personal skill development, demonstrate honesty in playing by the rules, and have high moral character. The Skyline Student Athlete of the Month is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline Chili Restaurant, a business partner of Winton City Schools. Kendall, thank you. Amazing.
Yeah, he graduated with Lance. Just like his brother did when he was that age.
Kendall, I read the press conference, and I saw that you guys had Moeller on the ropes. Way to go, man. Yeah, excellent. Incredible game. All right. So if they're great students, there has to be great teachers.
Yes.
And I'd like to invite Miss Lauren Trishler to come up, please. So you thought that was a Skyline Student of the Month, didn't you? No, it's a teacher. So greetings. This is from Principal Martin at the elementary building. It is with great pleasure that I nominate Ms. Lauren Trishler for the Skyline Teacher of the Month. She has proven to be an excellent teacher and a wonderful asset to our school community. She is a hardworking, well-organized, committed teacher who has given much to our amazing students. Lauren serves in many leadership roles throughout the building. She is the team leader for the Special Education Department, an active member of the building leadership team, and the chairperson for the Response to Intervention Committee. It was evident from the beginning of my time at Winton Woods Elementary that Ms. Trishler exhibited through preparation and a willingness to work diligently. Ms. Trishler has a unique and excellent rapport with the staff and students of Winton Woods Elementary School. She is exceptionally talented at connecting not only her students but all students in the building. She truly believes that educating students in both a creative and engaging manner yields a positive outcome. Ms. Trishler uses high levels of questioning techniques to broaden her students' thinking. In addition to encouraging her students to reflect upon their learning, Ms. Trishler uses her teaching experiences as opportunities for growth and skill refinement. She has an excellent communication program, excellent communication skills, which is evident in her success in building strong teacher-parent relationships and connecting with students who require additional care and support. In addition to performing her job and daily tasks as an exemplary level, Lauren demonstrates extraordinary commitment to Winton Woods Elementary School community. Lauren takes it upon herself to provide outstanding support and service to new teachers in her department. It is remarkable how she can quickly discern their needs and immediately offers critical information and clear direction to her colleagues. Lauren is always willing to provide support throughout the building. Lauren is indeed an asset to both the school and Winton Woods School community. And again, kind regards, Ms. Adrienne Martin.
She should have had to say
Family,
something.
who did you bring with you tonight? Lauren.
Miss Martin.
What did you bring tonight? Okay, then Mrs. Martin wants to go, yeah, go up there with her.
Nobody.
Amazing. The Community Spirit Award goes to my good friend, I hope he came tonight, but I can see that he didn't, Dr. Frederick Wright, Senior Pastor of Quinn Chapel. We will invite him back next month, and if he decides not to come next month, we'll just surround his church until he decides to come. But he has been an advocate for Winton Woods City Schools. He was working diligently to help us pass our bond and our levy. And Dr. Wright is an incredible, incredible young man. He would be happy if I said young man, but he's an incredible pastor, and he gives a lot to the community. So if you see him, give him a hug, a pat on the back, but we do have an award here for him. Right, Madam President.
All right, thank you, Superintendent Smith and Dr. Cupoletti. And congratulations to all our students, the teachers, and the administrator. And while Dr. Wright is not here, we congratulate him and appreciate his contribution to our district. We will now take a 5-minute recess so that you all can, those that want to excuse themselves can excuse themselves, and we get a chance to go out and congratulate you. So 5-minute recess. We now resume our regular board meeting, and the next item on the agenda is public comments. And I do not see anyone here for public comments. So we'll move on to 5.01, the Winton Woods Teachers Association representative. Do we have anybody? Don't see anybody for that, but we do have someone here from OATSE, the Ohio Association for Public School Employees. Please take your place at the podium. Thank you for the candy.
Good evening, everyone. Board members, Mr. Smith. Just wanted to say thank you for acknowledging OC here tonight, and just thank you. Good evening.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for our candy. We appreciate it. All right, the next item on the agenda is 6.01, the approval of minutes as presented. Board, unless you see a necessary change, these minutes, a motion is in order.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggless?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Capoletti?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is 7.01, our treasurer's report for financial statements for February 2019. Mr. Seymour, you have the floor.
Well, you're looking at the financial statements for the month of February. Our year-to-date revenues for the general fund were $39.2 million. Our month-to-date were $5.8 million. That's mostly real estate taxes of $3.6. We had our final settlement come in. And state foundation of $1.6 million. The general fund expenditures are at $33.9 million and are currently running 6% under budget for this year. All funds, we had $83.5 million, $21 million in the general fund, $9.4 million in the building fund, and $49.5 million in classroom facilities. Those are your unencumbered balances.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Seymour. With no objections being heard to the financial statements for the month of February 2019, we'll submit those to audit. The next item on the agenda is 8.01, the treasurer's recommendation of investments for February 2019. Mr. Seymour, you have the floor.
For the month of February, we had $97.8 million invested between the general fund and the building funds. The interest earned was $136,000, of which $31,000 was the general fund and $105,000 for classroom facilities.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour. Board, a motion will be in order.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the investment report as presented.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Are there any questions for discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggless?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Capoletti?
Aye.
And Dr. Johnson.
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is 8.02. 8.02, yeah, I'm right, okay. 8.02, the fee schedule for 2019-2020 school year. And Mr. Seymour, if you want to just tell us a little bit about that?
Basically, we're asking you to approve the fee schedule for next year. As you know, several years ago, we eliminated all regular day instructional classroom fees. However, we still charge for the AP test, pay to play, and those rates right there are the same as were last year. I checked with Dr. Holden, and she said the AP tests would remain the same for the upcoming year. So we're asking you to approve those fees for the school year 2019-2020.
Yes, thank you. Board, a motion will be in order.
I move to approve the fee schedule for the 2019-2020 school year as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Seymour regarding the fee schedule?
Board, just be aware that the AP test can change. So I'm hoping that there's flexibility that if it does change, we can come back to get you to reapprove it if necessary.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggless?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Capoletti?
Aye.
And Dr. Johnson.
Aye. The next item on the agenda, thank you, Mr. Seymour. The next item on the agenda is 9.01, reports from the superintendent for the school reports. Mr. Smith, you have the floor.
Yes, Madam President and Board, I'm going to give you the school reports in the order of dates. So I've just kind of capsulized them so that you can kind of get a clear shot of what's happening in all schools. Some of these dates are consistent throughout all reports. On March 20th, which is a different one, the alternate school senior credit check. Usually these credit checks were happening in the high school, and Ms. Hodges Davis wanted to make sure that the board knew that they were working diligently to give the credit check opportunity for the alternative school. The high school has had 5 credit checks this year, and the last one was on March 6th. So they have been very, very conscientious of getting to the parents and letting them know exactly where their students stand. Many schools will have 2 throughout the year, but again, our principal in the high school have had 5 checks already, and they will have one more. The other one is March 22nd is report cards. That's the Friday. And then, of course, spring break is the 25th to the 29th. And for those of you who did not get a chance to attend your own prom, there is a PTA-sponsored primary prom, 6:30 to 8 o'clock on April 5th. So wear your best attire and have a good time. And the OMEA, we want to make sure that we are supporting our music program fully, but the OMEA Middle School Solo and Ensemble Contest will be April 6th. If you can make it, this would be a treat. April the 11th, the Open House Project Exhibition Night. When we started talking about project-based learning, people wondered, could this happen in a primary setting? Well, you'll get a chance to see, and it will be absolutely mind-boggling. The young people are very, very prepared. And for those of you who like the spring musicals, well, guess what? Mary Poppins is on our way. So Mary Poppins, April 12th to the 14th. And we're winding down to the end of the year. Midterm, folks, is April 18th. Those are the notable upcoming school events.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. This is just informational, but we'll move on to 9.02, which are the first reads and new replacement, rescinded, and revised policies. Mr. Smith, you have the floor.
Yes, Madam President. The first one is 2261.03, District and School Report Cards. This is a new policy. There's a replacement policy on finances, 6423. We're rescinding the policy 2700 school report cards and replacing it with 2261.03. There is a parent and family engagement revised policy 2111, program Title I services 2261, policy revised policy 2261.01, program parent and family member participation in Title I programs 2271, college credit plus 3140, professional staff termination and resignation 4140, classified staff termination or resignations, and the final policy is 4162, classified staff drug and alcohol testing of CDL license holders and other employees who perform safety-sensitive functions.
Okay. Board, these are just first reads, but does anyone have any questions for Mr. Smith or about these policies that we're going to read for this month? They will come back to us next month at our regular meeting to be
Yes.
voted upon.
I know you guys have probably already read these policies, but this will sort of be like a second read.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, like a third one. The only thing that I would like to interject is the one with regards to the program, the parent and family engagement. With that particular policy, it's been broadened from Neola, but it includes more the caregivers and the guardians, which it hadn't in the past.
You're
So and they changed the wording from involvement to engagement, because that's kind of what they want those people to be engaged. So just kind of as you're looking at that, because that's our big thing, is we want the community to be involved and engaged with us. So just kind of call your attention to that. Okay. Moving on then, 9.03, the T1 trend data for transportation. Mr. Smith, you have the floor.
Yes, Madam President and Board, there are 8 types of transportation services that we use in the district. There's Type 1, which is board-owned yellow bus. Type 1A, contracted with other public district yellow bus services. Type 2, contractor-owned bus, Durham First students. Type 3, public transit, metro or taxi. Type 4, payment in lieu of for families and students attending non-public or community schools declared impractical. Type 5, board-owned other vehicle, van or minivan. Type 6, privately owned other vehicles, UTS, on-time medic transport, etc. And then Type 7, which is a community school. If you need more information about the process and services, the business department manager, Mr. Denny, would be more than happy to come up to the podium if necessary.
Does anyone have any questions or discussion regarding our transportation services that we have? Again, Board, this is just content to keep you informed and aware of the trends in our transportation for our students. But it's good to know that there are 8 different types, so that when someone has a question for you,
Very good.
how you can present, because they might say, how come I don't have? And then you could have knowledge on those various types. So it's just informational only. So 9.04, facilities update. Mr. Smith, you have the floor.
Mr. Denny?
Mr. Denny, you have the floor.
Thanks, Mr. Smith, and good evening, Board. On the screen, you should see our district homepage, and I'll just briefly take a moment before we get into that. I'll just show you where this lives, but I do have a copy of the most recent weekly blitz that's published from the construction management company each week.
Thank you.
This looks like about 100 acres.
So just to reiterate, this does live each week. It should be refreshed. It does live on our district website, and I'll just give a quick demonstration of that so that you can locate it each week. But if you scroll to the bottom, of the homepage, you'll see in the lower right-hand corner, it says Construction Updates. You just select that, and that will jump out to the Construction Updates page, which has a lot of information on it. But one of the things you'll see prominently featured, it says Weekly Blitz. It's that particular link. And if you click that, it'll cause the same publication that you have in your hands to appear. So just to give you a brief update on what's been going on, have any of you had a chance to roll by on Kemper Road and look up at the building pad? Okay, so yeah, it's actually 7 feet up from where it started. So it's now even with the rest of the pad. I still recall cars getting stuck there during home football games when people weren't supposed to park certain places. But that is very different now. It's very stable. I've reviewed over 200 soil geotechnical reports on that area, and it's really coming along. So it's nice to see it where it is. That is the chief piece of work that I think you'll see in this update was just completed as of last Friday. The actual pad is complete. They're now completing areas around it, approaching this building. So we're getting close to being ready to install footers. Once the concrete footers go in, the geopiers will go in next, then the concrete footers. After that, you'll start to see the actual slab, the concrete slab that the building sits on, the foundation pad. So after that, you'll actually start to see vertical movement. You should see steel structure, CMU, load-bearing walls start to go up. So that'll be exciting, I think, when you see that. It takes a long time to get out of the ground. The other work that's going on is completion of the sanitary line, completion of the stormwater management system. We're beginning to see the implementation or the installation of electric conduit. So all the underground pieces are beginning to come into place, especially the major systems that you're seeing, some of the detention ponds and things of that nature. So what you'll see is on one page it details work on the 712. The next page is the K6. So just wanted to give you a brief update. We'll continue to do these. And again, if you'd like to see an update, you're more than welcome to visit the website, and you should see updated information each week.
Mr. Denny, are you satisfied with the progress, with the rate? I know that you came back with a report last month showing how many delays and how many rain delays and how many days work wasn't operational, but the board wanted to know, are we on schedule?
So I'm never satisfied with the rate. I want it to go. However, yes, overall, on the whole, we are reportedly a week behind, but that's really pretty good considering they got 2 working days out of January. This January was the actual wettest January on record in the history of our town, of Cincinnati. So to only be a week behind, I think, is good. And what the management firms are saying is, yes, we're behind, but not to the point where they're concerned at all about even starting to burn backup days. So they feel they can get caught up. I don't know if you've seen them moving dirt from the back of the property here at the high school to the front. That is nearing completion as well. So there's about another 9,000 yards of dirt that came from the back of the property up to the front, again, to bring that level up and compact that pad. So it's a real firm structure in which to build.
The question could be when the public asks the question, when's the date? We can just say we're on time, right?
We're on target.
Yes, precisely right on time.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, any questions for Mr. Denny? All right.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Denny. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Again, this is informational. We appreciate getting those updates and you reminding us where we can find that information. The next item on the agenda is 10.01, which is the superintendent's recommendations for the personnel schedules. Mr. Smith, you have the floor.
Yeah, the recommendation, Board, is to approve personnel schedules, Schedule A, Schedule B, and Schedule D. Schedule A is resignations, Schedule B is personnel employment certificated, and finally, Schedule D is personnel employment certificated and non-certificated, including extra duties.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board, a motion would be in order for the personnel schedules.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel schedules as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Are there any questions for discussion? All right, seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggless?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Capoletti?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. The next item on our agenda is 10.02, which is a proposal for overnight extended student trip to Ireland. Wow.
Yes.
Winton Woods High School.
Before you make the motion to approve, I'd like to just kind of give the board, the educational program, the significance of taking this trip. So this trip is the definition of what we want our students to be able to do and experience themselves upon graduating from Winton Woods High School. The purpose of planning independent trips is to show students there is a cost-effective way to see and impact the world, no matter the profession you choose. Following this trip, students will understand how to use and manipulate timetables and charts with regards to public transportation, understand all process with relation to flying, be exposed to education and cultural difference from their own abroad, and perform community service for a completely different set of people. All of these separate experiences help to teach our students to yearn to understand rather than be afraid of other cultures. It will allow our students to break out of the comfort zone and be exposed to a variety of process and life skills. Most importantly, it will expose our students to a world outside of Cincinnati and the USA so they can appreciate and respect all the freedoms and liberties that our country provides to them. All of the aforementioned benefits of the trip align directly with the problem-solving, growth mindset-oriented students we want to produce at Winton Woods High School.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board, a motion would be in order.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the overnight extended travel for students to Ireland for the Winton Woods High School, March 25th through the 31st of 2020.
I second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Are there any questions for discussion?
No, I just wanted to say I appreciate that our students have these opportunities. I guess I understand there's 3 separate trips planned throughout the world for our students to be able to explore. So I think that's an amazing opportunity that our district is putting forward, and it's a priority for our students to have these experiences. So I appreciate this opportunity.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kinnon?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Cupoletti?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The next item on our agenda is 11.01, which is the Board of Education reports or the legislative report. Mrs. Kuhn, you have something you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I passed out to my colleagues some information from both the House and the Senate, different bills that are proposed for 3 different periods of time. There's a week of the 18th of February, the 25th, and then most recently March the 4th. We'll kind of look through there and see the different bills. There was one that I thought was interesting. It's more on it's a bill that encompasses raising the tax on gasoline, but schools would be held harmless in this increase. So that was an important component that I hadn't thought about, that gas tax and how it would impact our schools, but the legislator has approved or has a program that will make schools held harmless. They'll get that money back. So from our perspective, from a monetary standpoint, it shouldn't hurt us, fortunately. So I thought that was an important component to look through. So kind of look through there and take an opportunity. There's quite a bit of legislative activity. Takes them a while to get done, but you can kind of see the progress and where our state's going. Did you have anything to add, Dr.
No,
Johnson?
no, I don't. I had the same ones. All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kuhn. The next item is 11.01, the Great Oaks Report, and Mr. Birdie. 11.02, I'm sorry, thank you. And Mr. Birdie is passing out items to us as we speak. So, Mr. Birdie, you have the floor.
Yeah, just a couple of things. Open enrollment, it goes through each district and whether they are an open enrollment school, whether they have or no open enrollment. Just so you can see, I mean, overall, the majority of school districts are open. We do have some that are not, but that is the minority. We have 2 students in the Spotlight on Students report from Great Oaks, Keith Ballard and Diamonique Jones. Both are in the Culinary Arts and Hospitality Services. And that is the end of my report.
All right, okay, thank you so much. Mr. Birdie. The next item on the agenda is 12.01, which is board motions and recommendations. Are there any items up for discussion, board? I'm not aware, I don't have anything, but if you, well, we already talked about the retreat, but you want to talk about it again?
It was just on the agenda.
We need a motion to change the location.
Oh, do we need a motion to change the location? Okay, well, board, a motion, we need a motion to change the location from Waycross Road to, I don't have the exact address
I'll
to
make
you.
the-
Okay, all right, someone make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
The board will need to make a motion to change the location of the board retreat to Full Throttle, 11725 Commons Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45246, April 6, 2019, at 8 a.m.
I'll second.
Okay, the board, it's been motioned and seconded. Are there any questions for discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Cupoletti?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye, that motion passes unanimously. Thank you. The last thing on the agenda, or next to last thing, are board comments from the board. Mr. Seymour, do you have anything you would like to share with us?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Smith, do you have anything you would like to share with us?
Yes, Madam President. The first home football game will be dedicated to Mr. Charlie Frederick, who was iconic in making sure that Winton Woods was on the map as far as athletics is concerned. He has an incredible family who would like to come out 6 months from now, and Mrs. Denny is already aware, and we're in the planning phase of it. But if you've ever attended the game, this stadium is named after Mr. Charlie Frederick, who is a Notre Dame football star and just a legend in its own right. So we like to kind of give some thanks back to the family for all of their support, and go Warriors.
All right, good, thank you, thank you. Dr. Cupoletti?
I attended the Night of Freedom. It was absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to and thanks to everyone who put it together. I hope it continues and expands to include the entire community. So thank you.
So you would want to see the night of downtown, like the whole city? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Light up downtown.
I would like to see the community outside of Winton Woods
Okay.
be aware.
Well, our community engagement coordinator, Mrs. Denny, does an incredible job, and she sends out all of the communication. We try to hit every spot of the city and even parts of Kentucky. So hopefully we can get people to, the word of mouth for all of the people who attended. That would be a good way to help get the good word out about the Night of Freedom. But I do know Mrs. Denny works diligently to get all that information out, and she will continue to keep working in that same vein.
Thank you, Ms. Denny.
All right, thank you, Dr. Cupoletti. Mrs. Ruggles, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Well, yes, I think that I was really blown away by the Tech Club's presentation. I thought that was really good. The students always blow me away about how well they present their ideas and their experiences. So it's always good to see that, coupled with having seen them present at the Night of Freedom. One of the things that stood out for me with the young man, he said, you know, he wants more technology courses, and looking at the competition that they're involved in. So I'm sure our superintendent and our learning and I forget the committee, but Dr. Holden and team will pull together some way to close that gap. You know, if the students are seeing that, feeling like we have a gap, I'm sure that we can give them some more opportunities. And kudos to the staff for finding these opportunities and introducing our students to these opportunities, so that they can grow and see themselves in the opportunities that present at local colleges or in the that's available to them. And lastly, I this past weekend I participated in the OSBA Black Caucus Scholarship Committee, and we reviewed a lot of applications, over 175 application for the Leo Lucas Scholarship, and I want to give kudos to the counseling staff because I sent a message saying, hey, it's coming out, and although I don't review the Southwest region, I got very good accolades about how our students presented and the professionalism of their application. So kudos to the counselors with that, and kudos with the counselors behind the academic achievement event that was this Wednesday. I missed it. I feel bad, had to work late, but you know, really pushing some of the academic excellent activities that's happening within the district. So kudos to everybody all the way around.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Kuhn?
I wanted to bring up, I'm glad Mr. Smith brought up some recognition of Charlie Fredericks, because he was the athletic director at, our school district from 71 to 1998, I believe. And I wanted to, I'm glad he addressed the rich history that our district has and how we carry that momentum forward. We don't forget the past as we go to the future, so I think that's a great connection, that we can pass that legacy along, and that the future students that walk through our doors will appreciate as well. So I do have condolences for his family and friends, and he left a great legacy behind. I did want to also congratulate the Cyber Warriors. They were very excited, made me excited about technology, and I'm not very good at technology, so I wanted to learn more. I was interested in, as Mrs. Ruggles brought out, what classes they were looking for. And I think Coach C has some ideas and to offer, so hopefully we can offer those to them. I wanted to congratulate our academic scholars that were recognized last Wednesday. And I think it was the 57th annual award. So again, that legacy, that continuity of awards that our district has that we want to carry forward. And it was it was from 10th, 11th, and 12th grade awards. So congratulations to them. And go to the musical next month, Mary Poppins. That was on my little list. You guys are good at hitting all of them. And one other thing, I don't want to leave out any of our music groups that competed in the choir or any of the awards, but I did see that VE did get a #1 superior rating.
Go VE.
And again,
Yes.
to show that continuity and the legacy, I think, I don't know how many years in a row, 38, 39, whatever, that continuity that exists. So that's sort of the theme from my perspective, is continuity, and how do we make ourselves better in the future.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Mrs. Kuhn. Mr. Birdie, do you have anything?
Just real quickly, thank you to everybody, like Dr. Cupoletti said, involved in the Night of Freedom. It's a great event. It's just showcasing our students and the staff, and I know everybody involved in it. It takes a lot of time and energy to do that, so thank you all for what you do. Spring break's coming up. Everybody be safe. Have a good spring break. Hope to see you back after spring break. I think that when we were listening to the Cyber Warriors and the tech club talking about what they did, one of the things that struck me is one of the students saying that when it was time to do their presentation, they felt that they were ahead of a lot of the other groups just because they've had that project-based learning experience and had to get up and do presentations in front of their class with their peers. So that's part of what that does. It gives them that skill and gives them that confidence to do that. So it's a beautiful thing to hear the students actually say that when they're talking about what they're doing. So other than that, Charlie Fredericks was the athletic director when I went to high school here. So I think that's great that we're recognizing him and talking to his family. So thank you very much.
Very good. Well, everything that I was going to say has already been said. I just want to say thank you to everyone. We talked about the Night of Freedom. We talked about the awards for the varsity ensemble. We talked about the tech club, and really appreciate Coach C for what he does with those kids. It is nothing short of, his time commitment is quite amazing. Takes a lot of time to put in and get that kind of result, and to motivate the kids to want to learn like that. They're motivated beyond what they would get in the classroom. So that's an amazing thing and fun, something they'll take into their future. Of course, with Charlie Fredericks, recognizing him. It's just, we have so many really positive things going on right now in the district. And as much as it's nice to have other people tell our story, it's nothing like telling your own story. Okay? So we want other people to tell our story, but you know what? You're going to be really charged and enthusiastic when you tell your own story. So we want to invite people to these various events and like that, and let them know what our kids are doing and what our district is doing. Besides, we're building the buildings, but we're building the buildings because we're doing something different, you know. So we just want to thank all of the teachers and administrators that pour into our children as we get ready to move into the spring break time for everybody to enjoy, have a good time, be safe. That's all I have. And there's not a need for an executive session tonight, so everybody's clear. We've all said what we need to say. Thank you to Waycross for your service in videotaping the meeting tonight. And with that said, I'll call the Winton City School Board of Education regular meeting for Monday, March the 18th. To a close. We're now adjourned. Thank you. Be safe. Have a good evening.